Hello and welcome to another video. Today we're talking about 6 things that came up during or after the recent Night City Wire 3, which you definitely don't want to miss. Just a few days ago, cdpr held what I think was the best developer showcase for Cyberpunk yet. We got to see a lot of new stuff, and especially how the game improved visually over the past few years is really amazing. But besides 2 new trailers we've got to see, there is also a lot of information that maybe slipped through the cracks but is still worth mentioning and knowing. So if you want to stay up to date about all and everything around Cyberpunk 2077, be sure to stick around till the end of the video. And maybe also consider subscribing to my channel for all the latest information about the game. But without further ado, let's just jump right into all the details we could gather from Night City Wire 3. First, I want to start things off with some huge new information about the game's length. On the NCW after show with Co-Carnage, senior quest designer Patrick K. Mills elaborates on the length of the campaign. And to everyone's surprise, apparently the main story of Cyberpunk 2077 will be shorter than The Witcher 3. The main campaign of The Witcher 3 was extremely lengthy, so much so that most of the players didn't finish the game. Even if they played big chunks of the campaign, most of them wouldn't see it through. This led to CDPR slightly shortening the main campaign of CP 2077 because they want players to fully experience what they have come up with. And here I quote, "We do know that the main story run in Cyberpunk 2077 is slightly shorter than The Witcher 3 because we got a lot of complaints about Witcher 3's main story just being too long." Senior quest designer Patrick K. Mills then goes on to say, "Looking at the metrics, you see tremendous numbers of people played through the game really far but never made it to the end. We want you to see the full story, so we did shorten the main story, but we have lots to do, and in terms of a completionist campaign, I just don't have that number." So what can we expect out of the main campaign from Cyberpunk 2077? So apparently, according to the website howlongtobeat.com, The Witcher 3's campaign took around 51.5 hours. The main story, that is. And then the main story plus extras took you around 100 hours to complete. And to get everything in the game, you needed about 172 hours. So to me that means that we still can expect a solid 40 to 50 hours from the main campaign in Cyberpunk 2077, and honestly I think that's still a lot, and with everything that is going on in the game we will still have enough time we can burn during our playthroughs. Let me know in the comment section if you're kinda disappointed from this news, or if it even is a deal breaker for you. Just let me know what you think about it, I'd really like to know. Next up, Night City is the real star in Cyberpunk 2077. During the show there was an interview with Miles Tost, one of the lead level designers for Cyberpunk 2077. And he was talking about how Night City, so our game world, is the actual star of the game, like the main character in other games. So the city should be very believable, it should feel like a real place, like a living and breathing city where you can actually live in. That's why they especially focus on the variety between the city's districts. They all have a unique personality and you should never feel like you've already been here or done that if you actually haven't. So throughout the whole city every place should have its own distinguishable and recognizable style and feel. Nothing should feel same-ish. So one important point for the development of Night City was to look at the real-life geography, which is just right at the coast of California, and that obviously heavily influenced the look and feel of the city with its harbors, its waterfronts, or even the oil fields. Then they divided the city into 6 districts based on the lore, and those districts again in further sub-districts. Every district has its own purpose and function in the city. That's how the city and the districts feel much more alive and have their own personality, even though they are all connected and feel like being part of the same city. When watching that interview you can tell he's really proud that they achieved that and that they managed to separate each district from each other but still all have them feel like being part of something bigger. A really nice detail is also that every single street in the game is named, so you can really describe perfectly where in Night City you're actually right now. When you find something special in the game, you can tell your friends, for example, where they can find it too. And all these little details sum up to the bigger picture and contribute to the city feeling alive. Let's talk about size. Is bigger really better? Night City is huge. Night City in fact is the biggest project in terms of scale anyone at cdpr has ever worked on. Not like other open world games in square kilometers, but in terms of volume. So when you compare that to other RPGs where you can see a castle on a hill in the distance, so you just hop on your horse and try to get there, that's not how Night City works. Night City isn't as big or wide or expansive as other games, but the city's level design is constructed in so many layers that even on a small radius there is so much more to explore and discover. This kind of vertical level design makes Night City a much more personal and intimate open world than in other games. And this also ties perfectly into the lore of Cyberpunk, because since the start of Night City's rebuilding in the 2040s and the exponential growth of population in Night City, there has always been high demand for new living space. That's why, for example, new buildings got built on top of already existing buildings. Then the mega buildings went in construction and they got built on a foundation from which on they expanded upwards and outwards. So underneath that there's even more space for other buildings. And that yields in very interesting architecture and a very unique style of exploration. So you'll actually have to learn how to navigate those layers. And even if you've been to a location many times before, you might just stumble upon an elevator you haven't discovered before, which turns out to be a really cool shortcut between two sections. So eventually you'll have to learn how to navigate the city and the different districts just like you would in your own city or in your own neighborhood, and I think, although it could be very intimidating at first, this is a really cool feature. If you'd like to learn more about Night City and some of its locations, then be sure to check out my in-depth frame-by-frame trailer breakdown from Night City Wire's Postcards from Night City. You'll find the link to the video down below in the description box. Let's talk about the reveal of new NPCs in the game. The host for the pre and after show of Night City Wire 3 was Alana Pierce, the former IGN reporter, and she was happy to announce that she will be yet another content creator who will be present in the game. So after the cameos of Jesse Cox and Co-Carnage, Alana will have her very own cyberpunk alter ego in the game. For her, this was a fully paid voice acting job and it took 2 sessions to get everything recorded. The amount of detail that went into it is crazy because they even got her freckles and a birthmark on her face right. If you want to see the full reveal, she has posted a video on YouTube which I will link in the description box down below. Go check it out. Apparently her NPC alter ego is exclusive to the Nomad path. So I assume you'll run into her in the prologue of the campaign when you choose to start as a nomad. Knowing that, probably some of you will reconsider which life path you'll start out with. Have you even already decided yet which path you'll choose first? I'm still not sure, but I'm heavily leaning towards Street Kid or Corpo. But I'm really curious, please let me know in the comment section how you want to start the game. Okay, we got several gangs in the game, but can we join them? After we got to see the Gangs of Night City trailer during the show, quest director Mateusz Tomaszkiewicz had some really interesting in-depth information about V and the gangs I think no one should miss. As far as we know, there are at least 9 gangs in Cyberpunk 2077. There are Maelstrom, Valentinos, 6th Street, Voodoo Boys, Animals, Tiger Claws, Moxies, the Refs, and the Alde Caldo clan. Each of them hold different sub-districts in Night City, and each of them fulfill different purposes. For example, the Voodoo Boys, which are the most talented netrunners of Night City and will most likely help us breach the Black Wall and get into the old net. Well, at least that's my speculation. We will run into the different gangs while free-roaming Night City, in missions or in side missions, and from time to time they will even offer us a job. But to answer your probably most burning question, we sadly won't be able to join a gang. I personally would definitely love to join the Tiger Claws. I think their style is absolutely awesome. But because V is a mercenary, the gangs wouldn't trust us and question our loyalty to their cause, since the only thing we're really interested in is hard cash. So we will get to work for them. They also will have some quests for us, but we won't ever be part of them. But fear not, it was confirmed that we are able to get themed items from the various gangs. For example, different cars and motorcycles. as well as gang-related clothing and even weaponry. So if you want to, you could probably dress up like this fella from the Moxies. So most of the time we will get their jobs from the Afterlife, which is a legendary group of mercs. They get all the sought after clients and well-paid jobs and have good connections to the city's fixers. So in other words, if you yourself want to become legend, you'll have to stick to the Afterlife. nightcity.love. And one thing you've maybe missed during the live show is that the official webpage of Night City went online. The official URL nightcity.love was shown during the postcards from Night City trailer. Some of you probably thought this is just part of the trailer and the TV show that was running in the background, but you can actually browse that website. So I just want to encourage you to check out the website because there is lots to find, lots of nice details, even the ads are really cool. And I was instantly reminded of back in the day when Lost launched. They even had a website for Oceanic Airlines, I don't know if anybody remembers, but this was such a freaking cool feature, it instantly made everything feel much more realistic and immersed you into the story. So I am looking forward to CD Projekt Red further enhancing the experience and even add content to it. Go check it out for yourself and let me know what you think. I personally think it is a really cool feature and I can't wait to see more of this and everything else that cdpr has in its sleeves for us in terms of online marketing for Cyberpunk 2077. But now it's time to wrap things up. That's everything I got for you. I hope you enjoyed the video. If so, a like would be super appreciated. That helps me and the channel out a lot. And if you want more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you'll be notified when I upload my next video. That's all from me for now. Thank you for watching, have an awesome day, and I'll see you in the next one.